What's up everybody, GameLeap here, coming at you with a brand new Halo Infinite video, and in this video we're going to be breaking down what a Halo Battle Royale would look like, and talk about some of the interesting development decisions they would have to make if they wanted to fully implement a Battle Royale for Halo Infinite. But if you want to improve at Halo Ranked, you got to go check out the GameLeap website right now down below for in-depth tips, tricks, strategy guides, map courses. We got it all, so if you want to absolutely climb to Onyx and dominate, you got to go check it out right now down below. Now, there's a couple of things I need to clarify before we get started. Number one, I don't think that Halo needs a Battle Royale. Unlike many of the streamers like Dr. Disrespect or Courage, who think that Halo will die without a Battle Royale, I absolutely don't believe that. Halo has never had a Battle Royale. It's lived for many years without a Battle Royale or anything even remotely close, and the traditional Halo gameplay is amazing, is fun, and I don't think Halo needs a Battle Royale. Now, do I want one? Do I think it would be cool? That's a different discussion, but as far as whether or not Halo needs it, no, it does not. Now, the second thing is, I do think that 343 has a lot of things they need to work on before they get down and dirty with the Battle Royale. Now, of course, they could still work on those things while another sector on their team works on a Battle Royale, but I do think it needs to be on hands on deck to deal with a lot of the big problems in Halo right now. But it's still fun to talk about what a Battle Royale would look like. Now, at first glance, Halo seems like a really amazing candidate for a Battle Royale. We think about the ODST drop pods, how perfect those look, and how they would be just dropped over the battlefield and you could fall down incredibly fast like a goddamn crater, hit the ground, and now you're ready to go. It would just look really cool stylistically, and it would probably feel really cool as well. Now, what the map would look like would be interesting. I think that they could take a lot of inspiration from the campaign and just existing maps. It'd be very cool to be able to travel across a map that has a combination of different areas. You run into streets, you run into live fire, or variations on these maps. It would definitely be really cool to kind of combine some of the map knowledge from Ranked and apply it to a Battle Royale map. Or they could take pre-existing maps in the past and they could basically make it huge. They could just turn it into a gigantic freaking map. And they could do that with a lot of maps, you know. Just imagine the map, instead of like a really small map, like let's say think of Sand Trap in Halo 3, they could turn it into a giant freaking Sand Trap map, a huge one, spreading out through the deserts and different things. It'd just be cool. They could do a lot of interesting stuff, and I think that a really giant map would allow us to explore some of Halo's lore, their locations, and they could do it in a really fun and interesting way. Now, one of the most important things they actually would have to decide is what would be the best team size in a Battle Royale, whether it's solo, duo, or quad. Now, they could do like a combination, they could have all of it, they could have trios, they could do all kinds of different things, but it's really interesting what would be the default way to play the game, because the game's gonna feel way different depending on what the answer to this question is. If it's just solos running around, killing someone is going to be fine, even if there's a pretty high time to kill. But as you get into bigger stacks, the fights could go on for a very long time if we assume that they have the same amount of shielding as a full Spartan is, like in the regular ranked mode. Fights could go on for a while, a fight could happen and people could run away, and it would be very interesting to say the least, and I don't know what the optimal team size would be. Now, honestly, deciding that would actually have to do with how they deal with the shielding problem, because the time to kill in Halo Infinite is definitely a very interesting talking point when talking about a Battle Royale. In general, this is how I think about a Battle Royale. The faster the time to kill, the less intricacy there are in the fights themselves. Like, you could get one tap from really far away, or you could just die just because the enemy gets to look at you first. But the slower you make a time to kill in a Battle Royale, the more likely you are to get third-partied. Like, if the time to kill is so slow that fights, like a quad-on-quad fight, is taking a very long time, then another team's gonna enter the mix, then another team's gonna enter the mix. So you have to find that balance there. And I would actually be more interested in something similar to Halo 3 ODST, where you're playing as an ODST member and you might not have the same shielding as a full Spartan, but through looting or through doing damage or getting kills or whatever, you could upgrade yourself to that full Spartan status. Or maybe there's different like ways you could go about it. You know, you could get different perks or things like that. You could upgrade your shields in different ways. I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but I do think it would be a very interesting development point, how they balance this to where you're not just in a really big epic fight and then another team jumps in, another team jumps in, another team jumps in. That would definitely not be fun at all. Now, the number one thing that they would have to do is nail down benefits for fighting and winning. You do not want a situation where it's a small ass circle at the end of the game and there is like, I don't know, 10 teams of 4. Like, that'd just be completely crazy. You would want some sort of incentive to get people to fight. And that upgrade system makes sense. Like, imagine doing a lot of damage could not only upgrade your armor, but it could upgrade your skills, upgrade your perks. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And I think maybe even like a mini RPG system in there where you can actually like assign different things to different trees, maybe making your character a little bit faster, jump a little bit higher, have a little bit more health. I'm not entirely sure how you could do that in a game, but some sort of big incentive to get people to fight more is definitely a really great step in the right direction. And the other question that needs to be answered is, how are they going to deal with the powered weapons? Because if we think about ranked and we think about the Spanker, right, the rocket launcher, it's gonna kill someone in one tap, and it can kill multiple people in one tap. How do you balance a weapon like that for a battle royale? Because if we think about like probably the most powerful individual weapon in a game that has high time to kill like Halo, Apex, their weapon is the Kraber, which is a one shot in the head, not a one shot in the body, but it requires aim and it can be difficult to use and it's very, very rare. How do you balance a rocket launcher in the same way? You make it really rare, that's okay, but if an enemy gets it, and they can just wipe an entire team with one shot, how balanced is it really? And that's kind of a very interesting question. I think that maybe if you have things in quads and there's like a res system, then maybe you can make it fair one way or another, where even if they kill one person with the rocket launcher, you could like maybe trade out with them and try to wipe the enemy team, res your partner. I'm not entirely sure. I'm interested in your insight. How do you think they would balance some of these high-powered weapons? Would they just not include them at all? Or would they massively nerf them? How do you think would be the best way to balance a weapon like this? Now, to me, what makes the most sense is make the ultimate fights very team wipe oriented, right? So you could res people. That would be something that is pretty obvious. It's pretty standard for every battle royale. But the ability to res people and the ability for them to potentially heal shields means that you need to completely wipe out a team. Like, you can't leave anyone alive, because if they, you know, manage to get off a res, then that person's going to be healed and they could get another res off, and that person's gonna heal up because their shields are gonna come back, and then it's like no one even died anymore. They were just behind a rock, and you push them, you knock like 2 people, you push them, and they're all back up. Definitely something that would require like very deliberate pushing as a team, which might make it very teamwork oriented, could be a little bit brutal on solos and duos. I'm interested in how they would get that to work. And then the next big thing that we gotta talk about is perks and upgrades. Would there be a class-based system? I do think that maybe it would be interesting to assign classes based on lore. If we really dig into the lore of Halo, there's characters like Kelly, who were incredibly fast compared to her peers, or characters like Sam, who were ridiculously strong. You could input characters from the past. I know Sam's freaking dead, but you could input characters from the past and then maybe give them special abilities or assign abilities or items to them, so it creates something like a class system. That would be a very interesting thing to do. Or you could make it so people get perks as they kill people, as they deal damage. They can level up and get perks in the game, or there's certain areas where they can capture things and level up and basically become more and more of a Spartan. Start as a little regular soldier, upgrade to ODST, upgrade to Spartan or Arbiter or whatever the fuck. It'd be pretty cool, to say the least, and I think that that's definitely interesting. Now, another thing that's interesting with Halo is a looting system, because Halo has never had something that is like looting to get better armor or get better like magazine types or anything like that. There are weapons that you could go find, but we already talked about some of the problematic aspects of just weapon balance in a game like a battle royale. So I'm interested in how they would do a looting system. Would they rework the gun looting system from the ground up? Would they make it so you got better shields with time, better shields with looting, better shields with killing? Or would they do something completely different entirely? Definitely an interesting question, to say the least. Another huge question about how the game is gonna play out is vehicles, right? Vehicles are really cool, and having a vehicle to transfer you across the map out of a storm, whatever the case may be, would be pretty sick. But you start adding in some of the aerial vehicles, and then the game turns into freaking aerial dogfights, and maybe in the early circles you could have vehicles, but in the later circles they get disabled or you don't include them. No freaking idea how to freaking balance vehicles in a game like this, because vehicles are so integral to Halo, and you can make some really huge maps and put vehicles on them, But how do you make them not insanely powerful? Maybe you make it so vehicles have really low like firepower towards people on the ground. They can only fight vehicles in the air, or they can't fight at all. Or there's a lot of anti-aerial weapons all around the map. Definitely a lot of ways they could take it, but I'm interested in how they would tackle this concept. Now, while I do think that Halo would be amazing for a battle royale, I think that there's a lot of aspects about Halo in general that would probably fit right in. There are so many questions about how Halo in like the normal state would fit in a battle royale, and I honestly think that the game would have to change a lot. The battle royale would look so much different from the regular game. They would almost feel like a regular game. Now, they could do a really good job of including it and making it feel like it's part of the lore and as a supplement to the ranked mode, to the casual modes, to, you know, the campaign. I think it could be a really cool supplement and add on to the experience of Halo without deducting anything from Halo. But there's a lot of things they have to nail right, and it would probably be pretty easy to fuck up if I'm being honest. But I would still like it, and I think it would be exciting to have. I'm actually pretty sure that they're working on a battle royale behind the scenes. Based on everything they said and everything they've talked about before, it seems like they wanted a battle royale to be in the game, but, you know, we dug into the development cycle of the game. They did a good job just basically getting out what they did get out with all of the restarts and all the problems with management and production and Microsoft. So it's probably going to be somewhere down the line. Maybe it's going to be, you know, 4 months from now. Maybe it's going to be 2 years from now. No idea. There's a lot of things they got to fix before then, but I do like to rant a little bit about what a battle royale could be. But I want to hear how you would balance it, how you would make it down below. What big ideas would you implement in a Halo battle royale that would be really cool, really unique, and really amazing in the freaking game? I want to know why and what down below. But go to the GameLeap website if you want to climb to high onyx and above. You got to go check it out with in-depth advanced guides, tips, tricks, tutorials. We got it all on the GameLeap website, so you just got to go check it out right now down below.